Okay, so we're gonna go on a tour of Hollywood Beach, Florida. The Spyder cranked right up. This is day, I don't know, is it day 5 or 6 of this adventure without using a trickle charger with a battery at 70% shelf life? I am deliberately doing this on a weekday morning, so traffic is less congested than normal, and it's not at all congested, which is good. So we're heading south. Atlantic Ocean is to our left. The Intracoastal Waterway is to our right. So this is Johnson Street, although it's a shell of its former self. It was an old-time street with lots of little shops, and then about, I don't know if it was 10, 20 years ago, they basically demolished the city, I guess through eminent domain, demolished all of that and redeveloped it. Margaritaville built a big resort, and there's the Intracoastal, and I mean, it's just been an amazing, you know, you hear negative things about urban renewal because it devastated. I'm going to pull into this. Can I pull into this lot? Just to get you kind of a close-up view of urban renewal devastated so many downtowns, including Niagara Falls, where I live. But I think what they did in Hollywood Beach was a positive thing, at least in terms of economic development for the city. So that's the Intracoastal. Now, I'm going to take you around this, what they call, that's the North Lake. And there's a matching lake. It's kind of a man-made inlet there into the Intracoastal. But anyway, that Margaritaville must generate a ton of revenue for the city in terms of bed tax and sales tax on all kinds of stuff that more and more tourists brought to Hollywood Beach because of it are generating. So I mentioned the drawbridges of South Florida. We're going to go over what I think is the prettiest drawbridge. Sad story regarding this old building here. Really sad story. I'll tell you about it probably when we come back down this road. We're getting on Hollywood Beach Boulevard. This is a drawbridge that goes over the Intracoastal. Looks like they repaved this. They knew I was coming down on the Spyder, so they repaved it for me. Terrific. I just love these tall, majestic palm trees that line this boulevard. We're heading towards Hollywood Circle, Young Circle, I think it's called, and the downtown area. But before we do, we're going to go on a little diversion. I believe I'm looking for 12th Street. I actually walked this, believe it or not, from my condo that I stay at. And I'm so glad I did. I discovered something I just never knew about just by walking. It's the next one. I love those old houses. Yeah, I believe this is the street that I want. 12th Avenue, okay. So this is a residential section of Hollywood, but some really nice houses because you're so close to the Intracoastal. Hollywood's like any other city or town. I mean, it's got its really, really swanky areas, and those are the areas that tourists visit, and they go home, and we go home and we say, wow, it's just so great and whatnot, and it is. But there's also poverty down here. We just don't frequent those areas when we're traveling. So I just love this. Now that's pretty cool to have a boat out like that, but I just love the circle it goes around this, what they call the North Lake. And I'm going to show you a house that I found, not that I found, but that I saw when I walked back here, that was kind of a novel build, and I'll show you why. So Hollywood, like all of South Florida, is very flat. Well, all of Florida is pretty flat, but there are some parts, I know, like DeLand, Florida, some parts in Central Florida where there is slight hills, and I mean really slight. Nothing like you'd see in, you know, other parts of the country, just very, very shallow hills. But there's a house at the end of this street that's built on a little mound, a hill. And I don't know the history. It's a beautiful house. And I remember you can see it on Zillow. It must have been for sale not too long ago, and you can see the inside of it and whatnot, but it's a beautiful house. But the thing for me is it's set up high compared to the other houses. And I wondered, is that like a natural incline in Hollywood, Florida? Or when they built it, did they, you know, fill up the land with who knows what? I think I'm going in the right direction. Oh yeah, I can see it from here. Yeah, we're going in the right direction. This is going to be so cool. I love everything about this house. The driveway, the house itself, but really the hill that it's built upon. And of course, his backyard is this. So this is the house. So again, this is very flat terrain, pretty much at sea level, but look at that driveway. I love the nature of that driveway, but the fact that it's an incline, and then he's got this circular driveway here that I think is so cool, going up that, I'm sorry, that's a steep hill. I mean, if you're a kid and it snowed here, you could go sliding down your front lawn. No one else in Florida can probably do that. Isn't that something? And again, that's the backyard. Oh, it looks like they're doing some work there. I'm going to turn it around and we'll head back towards Hollywood Boulevard. Okay, now we're getting back on Hollywood Boulevard. I think I referred to it as Hollywood Beach Boulevard, but I guess it's Hollywood Boulevard. And I think the way it works is, and someone correct me if you're familiar with this, it's Hollywood, Florida that we're in now, and when you go over the Intracoastal, over those drawbridges, it becomes Hollywood Beach. I think. And now we're approaching the circle. What I'm going to do is ride around half the circle. I'm going to continue on down. Hollywood Boulevard continues after the circle, and that's where it's kind of, its little downtown is, which is really, really cute. And I think even since last year, they've done more and more work to it to spruce it up. And then we'll come back, go around the circle, and head back, and we'll finish up at the beach. I can't take the Spyder on the Broadwalk, but I want to take you to the Broadwalk, and I'll do that with my iPhone. Much of what you see right now is new. New as in the last decade or so. Like this Publix, this building, that skyrise, that skyrise, that skyrise are all not too old. In the last, some of them are like brand new in the last few years. Some of them might have gone up, I don't know, 10 or so years ago. But I've been here when this Publix was there, right there, and everything around this circle's been here for maybe since the founding of the city. And John Young, who founded the city, I believe that this circle is really a young circle, but everything was like 1 story or 2 stories around this. And then like much of the rest of South Florida, you know, People have bought up these buildings, knocked them down, and built these skyscrapers. This is the first time in decades that I'm actually driving here. Usually I'm Ubering from the beach on the rare occasions when I would come to downtown Hollywood to go to that Publix or to go to a restaurant on this street that we're going on right now. And but now that I've got the Spyder, I'm a little disoriented because I don't have an Uber driver driving me. So this is a continuation of Hollywood Boulevard. So what they've done recently is they've really beefed up the streetscapes. You know, the brick pavers and whatnot, and the landscaping on this median. But all kinds of cute little restaurants and shops. And of course, it's on a weekday morning. If you come here in the evening, it's all lit up and it's just beautiful. So this is the Strip, and what I'm going to do is turn around and we'll continue on. So this is Dixie Highway, not this light, but that next light. There's an historic element to Dixie Highway, which I believe portions of it zig and zag throughout the country from Chicago all the way down to Miami. I am so glad I chose a weekday morning. I say morning, it's just past 9 o'clock to do this, because I've been on this strip when it was just jam-packed. But that's like in the dinner hour when these restaurants are, crowded, and especially if it's on a weekend. I need to find an optician on my first day out, my first night in Weston, West Virginia. One of the, I don't know, the pads, whatever you call them on your glasses that rest on your nose, it fell off when I was cleaning the glasses. So I've got the prong that pad attaches to kind of resting on my nose on my left side, and I'd rather have a pad there than the prong, right? So this circle, they've really done a lot with Hollywood Circle. So if we wanted to take US 1 to Miami, we'd go that way. We're going to go to Miami, but we're going to go there via A1A. So I mentioned tire pressure on one of my very recent videos and how it fluctuates with the ambient temperature. I checked my tires this morning when they were cold. Cold as in the Spyder hasn't been ridden in 12 hours. More than that. But the temperature is, the Spyder says 82, it's probably 72, but I probably checked it when it was like 70 outside, and my tires were overinflated per factory recommendations by 1 degree. 29 in the back and 21 in the fronts. And I want the back to be a little underinflated, so because I'm in Florida, I just have to but just have to realize that my tire pressure is going to be, I guess, permanently higher while I'm down here, so I'm going to lower it in a bit, and then I'll adjust when I move north. So now we're going to head back over the Hollywood Boulevard Bridge, and it's almost like we're running into that grand old hotel that I told you earlier has a sad story, and it does. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I've not done this before, but I think we can go under the bridge and then hopefully circle back. But just so we can get up close to the Intracoastal. I've not done this before, so I don't even know if what I want to do is doable, but it looks like it is, maybe? Oh. I was hoping we'd get a better view of the... So there's the Intracoastal right there. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to just go right down here. And we'll kind of do a U-turn to get back. Oh, this is nice. This lets us ride right up close to the Intracoastal. Oh, there's a little... Nice. Good morning. Oh, right turn only. Oh, I can't cross. There's a median there. Darn. Well, that's okay. I should have gone down to the next street. Some of you may notice that no hand protection, no riding jacket. I've got short pants on because I knew I was just going to be doing some city driving. I know some of you are going to say, but it's still dangerous, and yes, you're right, and I should be wearing my full gear. I'm wearing my helmet, and to be frank with you, if I wasn't shooting video, there's no way I would have my helmet on right now. Florida law doesn't require it, and I wouldn't have it, and I know some of you are going to get really upset over that, but that's okay. So the Hollywood Beach Resort it's historic. It was built, I want to say 100 or so years ago, and it's gone through different iterations, but it's been a sad story for the past couple of decades. And last year I walked by it, well, I walk by it every year, to discover it's condemned. And when we go on the beach, and we will, the beach is right there, I'll kind of give you a little more color on that, because it's a fascinating, well, it's a sad story, but it could have a good ending, but it seems to be stalled in, I don't know, economic development purgatory. So I'm going to pull back to my condo, and then we'll pick it up on the beach. Okay, this is Hollywood Beach. This is the world-famous Hollywood Beach Broadwalk. It's 2.5 miles long. It's a great place to walk because on your left you have the Atlantic Ocean, and on the right you have restaurants and shops and all the rest of it. And there's the ocean. It's a midweek, midday, so it's not really packed. So restaurant after restaurant, shop after shop. That path there is for bicycles, and I think they allow e-bikes on there too. So now we're approaching Johnson Street. I referenced it on the Spyder. On the left up ahead you can see the famous Hollywood bandshell. It's been there for, I don't know how long it's been there for, but at least almost 60 years, at least that. It probably predates that by far. This area has been transformed with that urban renewal I had mentioned regarding Johnson Street and Margaritaville. And there's Margaritaville. They're all over the place. There's one in Niagara Falls, Canada. I believe there's one in Fort Myers. It's kind of like a chain thing. And this was a street, Johnson Street, and there were benches all over here. This whole area were benches, and now when they have concerts, which they have, I want to say nightly, they change it from big band to reggae to rock, etc. And then they put benches here, and they're removable benches. It used to be they were permanent benches that were mounted to this area, but then from this point down, there was a street, and there were shops, kind of like you see here, along both sides, including where Margaritaville is now. But we're gonna walk by Margaritaville, and then we're gonna walk towards the Hollywood Beach Hotel, or what used to be called the Hollywood Beach Hotel. This is kind of cool. I'm assuming all Margaritavilles have them. So some of these restaurants are open for breakfast. I know this one is, but a few of them are. And it's cool to have breakfast and then watch the sunrise on the Atlantic. And the cool thing is, on the Intracoastal Waterway that we saw earlier, there are also restaurants And they also serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner depending on the restaurant, but you can, from those restaurants, watch the sun set over the Intracoastal, which is pretty cool. So that is the Hollywood Beach Hotel, or what was the Hollywood Beach Hotel. And it started out as a hotel, a big, giant hotel built years, well, decades and decades ago, maybe 100 years ago. It's gone through different iterations. At one point it was called the Florida Bible College, and it was an educational institution. Then it went back to a hotel, and then they started selling units within the hotel as condos. And during some of that period, they actually had a movie theater, an AMC, I believe, movie theater in the lobby. There were little shops. They tried to make the lobby kind of a little mall. And there's a pool just on the other side of this green fence, which has been here at least a year. I was here in March of last year, not with my Spyder. I didn't have a Spyder when I was here, but the first week in March of last year, this had already been up. And there was a bar where you see the stucco roof there. That's like an outdoor bar. And I believe part of these units were also considered like a hotel, because I think in the lobby I saw, I don't know if it was a Days Inn franchise that was operating in this. You can see how expansive it is, and it goes, you know, multiple city blocks. Well, before last year, the year before last year, you could walk into that lobby. There wasn't much activity, but there were condo units that were, you know, occupied and rented out, etc., etc. I come here last year, this would be March of 2024, and this fence is up. So I did a little Googling, and some developer took control of the condo association board, and I don't have the details on this, but just my recollection, with the intent to shut it down and build a mega modern hotel. Now, I don't know if that means demolishing this, which would be too bad, because it's kind of an historic structure, and I'm sure the historic preservationists in Hollywood Beach would have a problem with destroying it. But his plan was to do that, and I guess he went as far as getting the condo association control by buying up the units, and then nothing happened. So I don't know if COVID affected this. As it has so much. I don't know if there were like financial issues with the guy or the company involved. You can see, like, this is all part of that complex. That building is not part of it, but this is. I'm not going to wander down there, but you can see how big it is, how long we've been walking. So it's a sad story. I'm hoping that I'm going to come down here next year, or the year after that, or maybe the year after that, and it's going to be a thriving, bustling hotel, or, and the historic preservationists won't want me to say this, but, or it's rubble with a soon-to-be awesome modern hotel in its place. Rather than end this video on a sad note over the Hollywood Beach Hotel, I figured I'd give you one last look at the ocean. I shouldn't say last look, but for this video, we're looking north. I can see, I don't know if the iPhone can show you, but the Dania Beach Pier, which is in the next town north of us. We're going to see that soon, up close. And it goes south down a series of towns, including Miami and Miami Beach and all the rest of it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you have any comments, please comment away. If you're not a subscriber yet, if you would subscribe, I sure would appreciate it. And until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.